Hi, I'm Janice Kutzera. I'm your Washington State PTA President, and I just wanted to reach out and say that I was thinking about you during this holiday season. This is my dog Mushu, who wants to be in my lap. Um, One of the things that I miss the most during this pandemic is the ability to just sit and chat with you and learn what's going on in your life and get to know you. I love just being at the coffee pot and chatting in between classes at a region conference, or introducing myself walking down the hall during a convention or legislative assembly, and just seeing what's going on in your life and learning what things are successful in your PTA, what struggles you're having, share ideas, and maybe share a mom joke or two. Um, so I miss being able to see you in person, but this pandemic has created some challenges in getting to see you in that way. But in other ways, I've been able to connect with you virtually, and that's been fun. I've been seeing what some of you are doing in your PTAs on Facebook. And whether it is just a Zoom meeting or a virtual story time for kids, your ideas like cocoa and craft drive-throughs, which I thought sounded really fun, or just some remote learning support groups for parents, which I'm sure is a huge hit right now. I love how you're able to overcome the challenges of this pandemic and still rise to serve the needs of your community. And that is what PTA is all about. I am very much a traditionalist. I love tradition in family. I love it in PTA. So this has been a little bit hard for me during this pandemic because um, we just can't do the things that we like to do the same way we've done them in the past. And in some ways, that's been really good because we're forced to think outside the box and think of new ways to do things. Um, One of the traditions that my family has is that we like to celebrate Christmas. And growing up, we always did that Christmas morning with my family, would all come over to my house and we would eat and open gifts and do those kinds of things all together. But as the kids grew and nieces and nephews grew, got married, had their own families, in-laws, that became more of a challenge because everyone had their own families and own traditions to try to work in. So we had to change that. We had to break that tradition and try something new. And so we get together the first weekend of December. We find a cabin somewhere and all pile in for a weekend and play games, do puzzles, do crafts with the kids, and eat a lot. And so that's become a really new fun tradition that came out of needing to try something different because it wasn't working. During the pandemic, Washington's PTA has tried some new things in an effort to connect with you and work with you so that you are able to serve the needs of the parents and kids in your communities. And through technology, we've been able to reach more of you than we ever have been before. So that's been a win. It still kind of blows my mind that at convention, we had over 900 of you. While I miss seeing you at the coffee pot, we're certainly able to reach more of you than ever before. And there's something to be said for that. Sometimes I think um, situations like this pandemic force us to look outside the box and force us to think of new ways to do things. And um, I guess my hope would be that if you have had success this year in something, hi Moshe, if you have had success this year in trying something new, that don't just assume that the old way was necessarily the best way. Maybe try to work in that new tradition even when the pandemic is over and find new ways to get together and reach people and have fun with the kids in your community. In closing, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate the work you're doing. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but I know that many of you are struggling right now this time of year. You're struggling with the pandemic. There's economic and health issues that many of you are dealing with, and I appreciate what you're doing. It's a big ask to ask you to volunteer on top of taking care of your families right now more than ever. And so I just want you to know how much you are appreciated. I want you to know that the Washington State PTA staff and board and region directors really appreciate the work you're doing. And that I hope that whatever traditions and holidays your family likes to celebrate, that you're able to enjoy them this year and maybe work in a new tradition or two. So I hope that your holidays are special and that you're healthy and happy and that you have a wonderful new year. Bye-bye. Hope to see you at that coffee pot soon.